You're listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. Wepa! Buckle up, familia, because today we got a big one on deck. We're talking graffiti splattered streets, wild dystopian energy, and comics that hit you like a bass strap at a block party, baby. Yeah. So on today's Comic Crusaders podcast, I, your boy, Al Mega, welcome not to one, but two powerhouses from the creative underground. That's right. We have a writer and illustrator, all right, that has raw, gritty visions, all right? He's a visionary. He's a big boss. And then we also have the editorial architect that is making sure that the madness is polished, all right? And they're dropping a fire Kickstarter named Boom Bandits, the complete saga. Live right now, baby. It is live. This is punk comics meet cyber chaos rebellion with style, storytelling, and that's explosive as the name, baby. Boom! So we're about to get wild, we're about to get weird, but we're going to shine a spotlight on an epic saga with the architect herself, Odette Schofield, and the mastermind, Bruno Stahl, baby. How you guys doing?
Really well, thank you, Al.
Yeah, no bad. You guys rock. Thank you for coming on the Comic Crusaders podcast to talk this dope project you guys got out right now in the wild, live on Kickstarter. 25 days to go, but we're going to get into all this, right? And if you guys are just curious, that's the link right there. It's also in the show notes, but go hit that link and start, scrolling and digging in. That way you guys come up with creative questions as we have this mastermind on deck right here. So let's kick it off, mi gente. Bruno, your art has that raw, underground, heavy hitter vibe. So when did you first pick up a pen and think, yeah, I'm about to blow people's mind with this stuff?
Thanks for having me on the show, Al. It's a pleasure to be here. It was a great introduction, by the way. I want to read that book you were describing right there, not the one I made. But my background as a kid, I was just like I was raised on a Mad magazine, Marvel Comics diet. So
and where was this?
In Brazil.
Okay.
I'm originally from Brazil. I've been in the UK for 15 years now, most of my adult life. I was like a massive, like a Hulk fan as a kid. I was just like a tracing over all those Sal Buscema's, panels, and I think something changed when I came across with the British approach to comics. I know like you guys in America had the British invasion in the 80s.
Yes, we did. But again, it brought us, Morrison. It brought us, Pat Mills, all these awesome cats. Bowling. Come on now.
Yeah, Alan Moore, Grant Morrison. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, bro. It was a great time in comics. I don't give a shit what anyone says.
Oh man.
If you guys out there got it, you got it. What is it? You know what I mean? Shit. Hang on it.
1986 was the year, wasn't it? It was
monstrous.
Yeah, everything was happening that year.
But
for us in Brazil, it was a bit late when we got in, across like the British style of comics, like the sort of like a cynical, dark vision. And with me was Pat Mills and Martial Law.
Oh, love that.
Yeah,
Pat Mills and Martial Law was sick, bro.
Yeah, and Kevin O'Neill with all the graffiti. That's where the graffiti comes from, like all the.
You blaming Kevin? So if you're tagging on the streets, everybody got to be talking to Kevin. It's your fault, man.
Yeah. And that was like a change my mind. I was 10 years old. I shouldn't be reading martial law, like it's a bit too heavy for a kid. But that changed everything. So like I say, like, oh, I want to make comics like this. That's the kind of comics, bit anarchical, bit violent, and it has something to say as well. It's not only like just like action for the sake of action.
You just made me think of something, because the accessibility of comics as we had it when we were young, you know what I mean? Like my parents, at least my mom that was bringing me comics again, was bringing me Savage Sword of Conan. I'm 8 years old. I shouldn't be reading that, right?
Yeah,
and also reading Mad Magazine and Crack. I shouldn't be reading that at that age. Right? And look where the access you're getting to. But then you look to nowadays, right? The type of comics that are out there, they're not even half as crazy as what we grew up reading. Like, isn't that wild how things have changed, and where kids kind of where they get hooked up is kind of something more innocent as opposed to something so crazy as that we were exposed to?
I don't know. For some reason, people now tends to underestimate kids, like because I think like I would say it builds character. How reading martial law or Conan when you're like not supposed to.
Yeah, man. You're not supposed to see certain things there. You're little nudies. Ooh. Let me tell you, every time when I opened up that Conan and I saw that, I was like, oh my god, ooh. Oh, mommy didn't see that.
And there was something, because also was black and white. And there's something quite marginal about like a black and white artwork. I know like it was John Buscema and an amazing artist in Conan, but still like it feels a bit like a dirty. Maybe the paper quality was printed in Brazil. It was like not very good, like a paper stock. So it's probably it feels a bit dangerous,
I'm curious about that. Like with the Brazil comic book access. I mean, how did you get access? Did you have newsstands? Did you have comic book stores, or kind of like recycled stories from your uncles? You're like, yo, I had this when I was a kid. Check this out.
It was mostly newsstand when I was a child. Okay. But then, like that was like the boom of the comic shops. It's very similar to the US in that sense.
Okay.
And we had access to everything: Marvel, DC, European stuff like a Mobius.
Nice. So more access than I did, because the European stuff we had to go to specialty stores. Like our comic shops didn't carry Euro stuff at all. If I want the Euro, I had to go to Manhattan and go to a Forbidden Planet. And they would carry the more independent and overseas titles, to be honest. But like Brooklyn and Queens, good luck. You ain't getting nothing international. Wasn't happening. And I mean, I think we missed out on that, because as I got older, I found them and then found an appreciation. I'm like, damn, I wish I had access to this when I was, earlier. I could have probably been more into the fan base. Now, Odette, you staying there quiet, my man Bruno talking. As an editor that's wrangling a beast like Boom Bandits, right? What's your secret weapon? Red pen, strong coffee, or Jedi mind tricks?
Oh, definitely strong coffee. Not necessarily so much red pen. I was with Bruno kind of through some of the early stages as well. But Bruno Bruno doesn't work in a very conventional way, so you tend to, you it's all in your head and you get it all down on paper. But you don't kind of do like really meticulous layouts in advance. You're a very kind of energetic person. You'll spend days contemplating something. So I often have to wait to see closer to a finished page, and then we'll talk about, scripting, dialogue, soundboarding kind of ideas, story arcs and stuff like that. But a lot of the time Bruno has a very strong vision of what he wants, and it's kind of, as an editor, it's being that sounding board person, and then working with the dialogue. That's not quite the right phrase. It's not quite the I don't think that's what you quite wanted to capture. So let's rework some of this part of the speech. But with any editing, I think getting anybody to read your work is always so beneficial, and any good editor, particularly for someone like Bruno who's doing all the lettering, the inking, the pencils, that's you can do it all. So it's good to have, you know, another person come and bring a bit more perspective. And particularly with Boom Bandits, we were trying to really make it all age appropriate. And so sometimes it was bringing the language. We can't say that. This is
that's what I was going to ask.
We can't say this because it's got to be for 12-year-olds. So let's pick a different phrase, a different word that won't get us
answered my next question, because I was going to ask you, has there ever been that moment where you had to tell Bruno, bro, chill, bro, this is like a little bit too crazy. We can't do this.
There was a couple, and again, there was a couple as well in the story. I think getting one of the sneaky things about doing it in black and white is you can show some scenes where it's not in red.
Yes.
So it's a different kind of, you know, it's you've been very clever with a lot of the what I would call like the violence in it, some of the action scenes, to make it appropriate for that audience, but still has the thrills that 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds want to see in those kind of books. And how we've woven that into, you know, bringing that in together has been a good challenge.
Is this your first editing project in comic books?
It is, yeah. So full time, like outside of this, I'm a project manager for a completely different industry. So I'm used to working with, you know, so one of the other things kind of to help is, you know, when we've got deadlines, we're very keen on getting it out for this time of year with New York coming up and cons in the UK. And, you know, where does the book need to be at certain times of the year? Where does the Kickstarter need to be at certain times of the year? So some of my job has been in the background, making sure that we're on our deadline. You know, are we behind on pages, ahead on pages? What else needs pulling together? You know, the budget side of it. There's, you know, so it's not just been kind of an editing gig. It's kind of been all of that behind the scenes admin. I think so many people want to make a great product, but don't necessarily know those. That's not necessarily their background. I've worked in manufacturing, logistics, all sorts of boring businesses, but can totally bring that to a creative project. And I've worked in other creative industries as the person who's not necessarily like a suit. I wouldn't call that myself because I never want to get in the way of a creative vision. And I'm not a creative person, so I'm not necessarily there to.
You're not trying to be a bureaucrat over here, right?
100%, but not there to interfere in that sense, but there to say, this is how you do it. You know, this is what it's going to cost you. This is what you need to make. All that side of it as well.
Yeah, people don't understand how important that is, and I like that you come from that project management approach, because, you know, what is a Kickstarter project if not a project, right? Where you have to manage so many aspects. And I like what you said. I also have a logistics background, I have a technology background. You know what I mean? I have a project management background. So all of that helps me do what I do. I bring that. Right. I mean, so it makes my life a little bit easier. So I dig that. Now, for both of you here, HellDunkel Studios. It sounds like a place where chaos and creativity party together. So what's the wildest thing about working under that banner?
I think it's probably like coming up with the ideas that are feasible, like, because it can get too crazy if you're not careful. And like, you know, as Odette, like, we have project management background, and I know that artists tend to complain about editors and feel like, oh, I don't want anyone interfering with my work, but I appreciate the work of a good editor, you know, and telling me like, no, you're going too far with this, you need to pull back a bit. And the Boom Bandits is the first book we are releasing under the banner, and the next one is going to be a bit more, I would say, more commercial, more mainstream. Okay. I think the wildest thing, it was exactly one graffiti that I wanted to added to one of the panels, and they say like, no, we can't do that, because if you want to sell this to kids, the parents won't be very happy with that kind of graffiti on the walls. And for me, it was like, no, they were not going to notice because it's going to be part of the artwork, you know. It's easy. and it's going to be a bit of like a British slang. So not everybody will know what that means exactly.
Oh, no worry. Teach me the slang, for the love of God. Let me tell you, a big shout out to my brother Johnny the Machine Hughes. He's from the UK, and there was sometimes words he'd say, and then sometimes I would say something. He goes, "You shouldn't say that because it means this out here." I'm like, "Huh? Okay, whatever." Funny conversations we would have. And I always love learning, you know what I mean? I could teach you all the Spanish stuff, don't you worry.
Yeah. Well, if you read anything from Garth Ennis or Warren Ellis, you know that the Brits, they can be very creative with the swearing. So,
funny as shit. I mean, do you agree with that?
I do, but my favorite thing kind of for British people, not necessarily swearing, but if any British person can make anything an insult if they stick the word absolute in front of it. So if they say "you absolute," whatever, and it can be a very inoffensive word, it's immediately an insult.
It's fighting words.
Yes, and it just works so well. You can use a really inane noun.
Listen, I've had British friends and German friends, and I would say both come across in a way, not intentionally. I understand what you mean. It's not intentional, but it's just an inflection. It just comes across like, "Yo, are you being passive aggressive?" Like, I don't know how to read you right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right. But this is what we gotta do, folks. We have this dope project, Boom Bandits. I love that name. So before I show off this dope ass trailer, this Kickstarter trailer that everybody needs to be pitching in, we're gonna dive into this whole Kickstarter, right? For the uninitiated, what's the elevator pitch of Boom Bandits: The Complete Saga? How do you sell this comic to someone on the streets real quick? You tell them, psst, 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 you open up your trench coats, you got your graphic novels. What are you going to tell me to buy that book?
Well, the first tagline I came up with was "Boomers versus Millennials in a post-apocalyptic future." But then it's one of those things I thought like I should tone that down because it could come across as too offensive, and I want some of that boomer money as well. So boomers, I still love you. But it was because it was a lockdown project, and and I was just coming off. Yeah, it was just coming off of working with Pat Mills on his new anthology, Space War, and.
Wait a minute, bro. Look at it. He just casually drops. I was working with Pat Mills.
How
did you meet the legend, bro?
Well, online, like with like nowadays, that's how people.
Okay.
I've met some of like Simon Bisley, all those other guys, like at the comic.
I met Simon Bisley, and I couldn't understand a word he was saying to me. I promise.
Was he sober?
No, he wasn't. You know what? Dave Elliott asked me the same shit. I said, no, I don't think he was. He goes, that's why. All I heard was grumbles. Grumbles. I mean, if you thought that Batman by Christian Bale sounded crazy, yeah, bro, that's how Simon sounded to me. I'm like,
just hang out with Simon for a night, and
then I understand the grumbles. Okay.
Yeah, no, all those guys, you meet at you used to, not anymore, like because the UK Comic Cons, they are sort of they're not what used to be now. They used to be more like like the American Comic Cons, like you have like some big American creators coming over to the UK, and it was just there was like 5 or 6 of those. And they're all gone. There are like a couple of very good Comic Cons in the UK, but all those like sort of more like a pop culture celebration. They are sort of
like a San Diego type of joint.
Yeah.
And again, not no disrespect to San Diego. I went this year, good show, but yeah, I like New York for a reason because they focus more on comics.
I heard good things about New York.
Listen, if you're about comic books, it's New York. Trust me on this.
Right.
Like if you're into the pop culture thing, you're trying to make your comic into a movie or TV show, then San Diego's for you.
Yeah.
if you want to make that into something more. But if you want to like celebrate comic books, it's New York, kiddo. But we're not talking about New York. I mean, even though I'm going next week, you know, we're talking about Boom Bandits.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that name. I love that effing name, bro. It's just, I gotta say that shit loud. Boom Bandits. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you're
It's
bringing
good
that band,
because
bro.
you bring the conversation to the topic, like bring it back to the topic.
But we got to, man, because this is the
Yeah.
a fire project that just dropped. We have many days to go. I have the trailer, folks. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
But again, right now, real quick, Boom Bandits, 10 second. Again, look, this me. I'm walking.
Yeah.
And you're in a New York alley, and you have a trench coat. You go.
Yeah. Right.
And your eye candy is the book.
Yeah, as I say, like it's essentially the original idea was like, just like a boomers versus millennials in the future, post-apocalyptic future. But the idea, the origins of the idea was for me like coming out of the up college, and it was just like, you know, looking for a job and all that stuff. Pretty young, didn't know much about anything really. And start reading like newspapers and stuff like that, and just coming across like those articles like saying like, you know, this generation and they're all lazy, they don't want to work, they don't want to work hard enough, you know, they're, you know, like they're so soft, like should be like us and stuff. And it's like, man, I'm working my ass off here, you know, earning like a minimum wage. I barely can keep, you know, like.
Listen, my father is in his 80s. And, you know, I'm 50 now, and he tries to talk all this smack. Oh, when I was young, I could do this. I'm like, Dad, you're not even paying a normal rent because of your age. Like, if you would pay the rent I paid on top of the bills and actually a car note, you would not be very well off today. Just at all.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's the problem. Boomers don't understand money changes, and it's not the same.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Oh, Dad rolled the eyes like, yeah, man, preach that shit. These motherfuckers don't get it.
They still don't. Yeah, it's unbelievable. But I realized that's through history. There's like each generation looking down on the next, and so on, and like things like the, you know, prehistory probably. So I thought like, okay, like. You know, that's something that really bothers me, and it was like always in the back of my mind. And then when the opportunity, the pandemic happened, lockdown, we're all like indoors, and so like, oh God, I need to do something. I can't just like wait until everything, because if you remember well, like back then, like we didn't know if life would ever. You know,
how long it was going to go on for.
I was in Florida at the time, and it's like I just got to Florida. My poor daughter was supposed to start Full Sail University, start her college life. Boom, this thing happened. I mean, they don't even talk about that. Those kids that supposed to have started their college life, they didn't have one.
Yeah, no.
My daughter got robbed of that experience. You know?
It's true. Yeah, it doesn't come back, and it's a shame. It's
And I think for us, it's
no,
like Bruno and I both from our full-time jobs got furloughed, which is
man. During that time.
Yeah. So that's
fuck that. It was double banger. Jesus.
It wasn't too bad, because furloughed is when you basically get told that you can't work until further notice, but your company still keeps you, you know, financially okay, so you haven't lost your job, but it does kind of mean that your job is a bit at risk. So there's a lot of uncertainty around it.
You know what though? I'd rather be at risk and getting paid during that time.
So we were stuck at home, and we had both been told to kind of, there's nothing for you to do basically until we get in contact with you. And both Bruno and I are people that like to be busy, people that want to, you know. And I think the thing is, you know, it's so rare in a working life that you get time to do something like that effectively, and say for an unknown length of time. But we were like, even if it's a month, if we're having a month at home where we don't have to work, what should we do? And you know, both trying to kind of keep ourselves busy. And so you were obviously drawing every day. and I was doing other different things, other projects as well, and then some of the concept art that you had produced for this kind of sparked the moving it towards a book. And
it brought back that, so like, oh, this thing in the back of my mind, I was being, and I did one concept art, and it was like, oh yeah, that's the story right there, So like it came visually first, and it was like that's the story. I just did like the backdrop for it. And what happened? With all science fiction, it's not about the future; it's about the present.
Yeah.
And now, like, it's not about like the millennials anymore. It's about the Gen Zers, like they are like, they don't want to work. They're lazy, just like on TikTok, and they say. And in the end, Boom Bandits, rather than just like having, sort of like having a go with, the older generations, is more like a cautionary tale for my own generation. Like, don't become like them, don't be like them. Don't judge the younger generations as harshly as,
I get that, man.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a father of a youngin', man, and talking about that, folks. It's time, folks. It's time for us to now do even a deeper dive. Look at the art. Dive in and show you what make you jealous of who's already supporting, that already beat you to the game. You need to be amongst those supporting this. So we're gonna show you the project. Where they're at right now, how many days we got going. Check out this amazing trailer. Wow, let's go. We add it. It'll be nice if I added it, right? Wow.
No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I can roast, I can gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last. Yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I love the trailer, man.
I don't ever slow up, no, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, I can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages of vacant. Modern kingdom for the taking.
That is it right there. We got the Boom Bandits in the building. Check this out, folks. We have 15 amazing backers. So big salute to you, independent supporters. Much love. Comic Crusaders is all about indie. So we appreciate each and every one of you that support independent creators. We have 25 days to go. 25 días, mi amigo. Vamos. Right there. They're looking for 4 racks, a little bit over 4 racks. We have $569, all right? Come on, yo. We only have 5 beans, but they need 4 racks. Let's make this happen. Like right now, make it rain, make it rain. You already saw how dope that artwork looked. Look, talk to me, bro. Talk to me about this cast of characters right here in Scar City. You can't trust anyone above 40 Wow, that is fuck. I am 50. What must you say about me?
Well, I was 39 when I start working on this book, so I'm the enemy right now.
Oh,
Because
shit.
I'm
Enemy
past
perspective,
40.
love it. This is great. I mean, talk to me about the characters that we see here.
Well, the two main characters is like Dunk and Pixie. They're
Who's that?
siblings.
These two?
Yeah, these two.
Okay.
They're siblings. They're part of the same gang. Because like the youth living in the wasteland, like they organize themselves in gangs. Like it's kind of family, but I use gang. Sort of a.
It's kind of like the Mad Max type of world where the villagers become a family, if you will.
Yeah, but like it is, but I try to use more like the current like a youth culture, as
You're hip to the scene, homie. I guess that's like a boom.
I was also going to say that there's quite a lot of warriors sort of in it as well. The warriors. Yes, yeah. It has that vibe to it too.
I love that. Listen, come on, man. You talking to? I'm from New York. You know I love that fucking movie. Now,
it's brilliant. Yeah.
That I gotta ask Odette on here though, because again, being the editor and all, and fiddling through this and seeing, how my man Bruno worked through this, right? What's your favorite arc or even moment in the saga that made you say, "Wow, this is why people need this collection right now"?
I think personally, it's the first 5 pages. They work really well as world building, setting the story. You can read the 5 pages as just as kind of a standalone mini thing, and it kind of really hooks you in, I think, and you want to know more.
You need to make an ash can of this to give away at cons of that. An ash can signed, limited to maybe 500 copies or whatever. You make it a collector's edition. Hell, there we go. We got to do that.
Yeah,
you're killing me right now. Because look at this.
Because it comes from that British tradition, like weekly comics. Like they had like 5. They still have like 5-page, 6-page to tell a story.
Yeah, bro. And, I mean, in Brazil they didn't. That's what I meant to ask you. Because again, you went from Brazil to the UK, and everybody, all my buddies from the UK, tell me, that they collected their books, Marvel, but it was a collected editions, 5 pages per of whatever comic book, but it was collected. So in Brazil, did you have that experience or the single issue experience, or did you actually have combined? Because like I said, I didn't have access to anything overseas.
Yeah. Well, in Brazil everything was monthly. Like it's very similar to the US.
Very American.
Yeah, very American.
I mean North American. Yeah. You're American, South American.
We're all Americans. Yeah.
We're all American. We're North American.
But the thing with like the system, the weekly system, is if you learn the craft through this system, you can pack so much, like 24 page, worth of comics. Because like every 5 page, there's like a turning point for something, a hook. And what I tried to do with Boom Bandits was exactly there. It was like, learning from Pat Mills and it's stuff like, I want to apply this on my own book, see how it goes. And that's why Odette is mentioning like the first 5 pages, because I didn't know what was going to be, like I didn't know how long the book was going to be or anything. So I want to do all the world building in 5 pages and see how it goes and then progress from there. That was the plan.
My other kind of favorite sort of piece of the artwork, which I think is just more like very clever storytelling, is there's a scene that transitions from the characters watching something on a television and somebody else listening to that television show on a radio, and the transition from those characters watching the TV, which is a live TV thing, so that we go to those characters, and then the radio goes to somebody else listening to it, and you don't even realize when you read it that you've you've moved through that story, and that bit has always really stuck with me, because in part of that sequence we meet one of the kind of major villain of the book. It's a really nice way to introduce him, and taking that transition sort of just through all those different, you hear the television, you hear the radio, even though you're reading.
Thank you. That's what I always talk about, the cinematic experience of comic books. It's real, especially when you have an overactive imagination. Those scenes do in fact move.
Yeah,
they do. And I gotta ask you, who the hell gave up with this name, Professor Anders Schmeckledorf? What a fucking name, bro! You're killing me here. Yo, who is this?
That's the result of like a growing up reading Mad Magazine, you know, like that's what
a lot of very silly names in this book.
Yeah, I love it.
Good
at least it wasn't a double like Anders Schmeckledorf, you know, like Stan Lee's Marvel shit. Always they gotta have the first name and the last name, the same initial. It's kind of a shtick of theirs for some odd reason. Like
well, I don't have an origin story for him, but he sounds Swiss. I would think he's a Swiss professor.
Schmeckledorf. But I want this is like a professor you're gonna see in a National Lampoon's movie. Now, who is this guy, bro? I do not want him to be my plumber. I'm afraid of him.
He's the main villain, the big we call like this cybernetic enforcers, the euthanizers.
The euthanizers. Ooh,
yeah,
I like that name.
And this is the euthanizers with no name. So it's that kind of like an ominous figure, you know, sort of like a Determinator, like a can't be stopped. You better run. And that's essentially the first.
Let me fix your pipes.
Yeah. I'm gonna fix you good. Yeah.
Holy shit, bro! And look at this. See, I am digging it, man. I just love the style, bro. Thank you for keeping it like this. Like, this is a very, for me, lost style. Like, very few artists nowadays are trying to work this way. And just do you see the amount of word bubbles on this one page? This already goes to show you this is not going to be a 15-minute read, folks. Like Odette, getting all these word bubbles and breaking down the story to fit the narrative of what he's trying, you know, this what the story is. Like, what any challenges you face, and making sure like there was not too much said, but just enough to make sure that maybe we could get another volume one day.
Not too many challenges, to be honest. It is hard making sure that it's not too short, not too long. How does it look in the bubble? All of those things. You know, the layout and say kind of the flow. There's some very clever things I like. Particularly, this is the first page, and I particularly love that you snuck the boom into the background.
So you see that boom.
There's a few of those things, and in general with the black and white as well, kind of, you know, making it still stand out. I have to admit, like, I was not super familiar with black and white comics.
Oh my God, oh my gosh, what you have missed life then. You better start diving.
I came to comics much later in life, and my journey with black and white comics and kind of understanding the way that they're inked differently and all of that has been a very, you know, a different journey. But you know,
makes you appreciate comics more, I think.
It does, particularly when you see them in print as well. It looks very different to on screen. But no, it wasn't too challenging with the words. So mainly it was just, is it the right phrase? Is it the way they would have speak? You know, is the dialogue like good? We also wanted a lot of slang in this, but we didn't want it to be slang that would age. We wanted the world to have its own slang. That the reader would understand, having never spoken any of this before, having never, you know what I mean? Like, you know, to be able to kind of work out that's an insult, that's a good thing, you know.
Thank you. I cannot wait, because again, I'm just like in shock. I'm looking at, again, I'm actually, I like to always try to view these projects together for the first time when I'm on doing the show. You know what I mean? Right. I get to see the cover image, and I try to ignore everything else. You know, just to get a, you know, I get a feel, but I didn't mean be surprised. Like, bro, like I said, I grew up Savage Sword, Conan. This artwork is fucking blowing my mind. Bruno, where you been all my life, bro?
Cheers, dude.
Bro, look at this. This shit is, bro. Bro, listen. Let me just say this. Your visual style is like Bansky meets Mad Max. Who influenced you the most? Talk to me. What are your influences? Because this is great art, bro. You ain't playing here.
Wow, it's I mentioned a few of those names like Simon Bisley, Kevin O'Neill,
they'd be very proud of you. Shit.
Bernie Wrightson, St. Keith. Love St. Keith, man. Yeah, is man, the Max is a masterpiece.
It's great.
Mm-hmm.
There's some Max Easter eggs in this.
Wait a minute. When you said Max, she smiled. So you're an OG Max fan, or did you find that also after the fact?
After again, later in life, but it's very enjoyable.
I need to know. Wait a minute. All right, fuck that. I'm gonna have to dive a little bit into the origins of your fandom now. Wait a minute. So who introduced you into the geekdom? There was something self-found, or like friends and all slowly introducing you? Like how did you get into
I was into geeky things from like a young age, but I didn't know anybody who read comics. My exposure to kind of graphic novels had been very limited until the few things at university that people had recommended, but mostly I had read prose. And then when I had friends who were really into things like 2000 AD, which is obviously quite a big thing in the UK. I was very familiar with things like Judge Dredd, but I hadn't really sat down and read a graphic novel until I was sort of in my mid-20s, I would say.
Okay.
And then it was a real, well, what do I like? And, I've read a lot of things that I was like, I'm not sure this is what I like. And it's very different to what I did like with prose. I'm a big Dan Clowes fan. And I never expected to kind of like that kind of style of cartooning. I really like M. Carroll, some French stuff. I also like Tintin. I collect Tintins.
Okay.
I've got
European. My God, I love it though.
So different things.
I'll put you onto one that I think you might like. It's from Sean Gordon Murphy. It is called Punk Rock Jesus. And listen, that shit will fuck you up because it really spins the tales on religion and what if type of shit and
social media.
This is my way. Yeah, this is the way I best explain this. It's like this. You ever seen the movie The Truman Show?
Yes.
So imagine that was a clone of Jesus Christ, and I leave it at that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Bro, that book will blow your mind. I like things that are different. That's what I like. What Bruno and you guys are bringing here.
Yeah. But I think one of the things I enjoyed most was how much you can read. And when time is so like so many people don't read these days for pleasure, you can read a whole novel in a night if you want with a graphic novel. And I think that kind of accessibility of stories is something I had never realized before. And, so now it's kind of like trying to limit how many new books are in the house.
They really always told me, you know what, comic company needs to change their platform, maybe do collected stories. Instead of releasing them on issue format, do collected stories, release them in graphic novels every X amount. So do six issues, but release it as a graphic novel instead of doing 6 issues, right? Every 6 months. And it's so funny, like DC got that program, right, where they have the mini graphic novels now coming out. Have you seen the market numbers on those?
Some of them are really big.
People are eating those up.
Yeah.
And it's like he was always right. People want the graphic novels, they want that portability. Like over the weekend at a Comic-Con, I got to see 1930s and 40s mini books. I've never seen these things in my life. Many little books, but Phantom, Spy Smasher, all this. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, in the 30s, look at that. Penny books. I've never seen a penny book. An actual mini little, like, story that you can read on the train for a penny.
Yeah.
We're missing all that. Please bring this back.
The first series I ever actually, got a subscription at my local comic book store so that they would get it in for me every single time it came out, was the Helen of Windthorn, by Bilquis Everly. She's the artist on some of the Supergirl stuff. Her work is absolutely stunning.
The Supergirl movie is based on her story. So
yeah.
Come on now,
I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
You and me both.
Her work is so beautiful, and the Helen of Windthorn series that she did. I got the first one of those just randomly, and I was like, "This is so good." Put me down for the rest. You know.
I think see, folks. These folks are just not creators; they're fans. You see, they're bringing this love of their culture into this beautiful looking book.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry, Bruno. Go ahead.
No, but just say like a Bilquis Everly, like she made inking with a brush cool again. Like she's amazing.
Bro, you know what I want to say? Even on this panel here, look at this thumb. Bro, did you trace your own thumb? Because that shit looks so crazy real. You know what I mean? Like you really took a thumb. Like I look at little things, and that shit has so much detail in his thumb, bro. Now, thank God he doesn't use his thumb to pick a booger. You could have probably seen the nail get underneath. I'm like, Jesus. But again, bro, your style is you're unique. It is fun. I mean, look at your robot too. That's just crazy, bro. It's popping.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
What are you doing to me here, bro? Oi! Oi! What are you
entertain
doing?
You.
Boy. And I miss my mohawk. I wish I could still have it. I can, but I won't do it. Man, but look at this cover, man. That's you too? You did the cover?
Yeah, it's mine, yeah.
So, and you got Pat Mills to do an intro.
The colors are by Philip Sobrero. He works for Marvel, DC, Heavy Metal, Image Comics. Like just Google his name. He's top.
And
guy.
what was the romance behind that?
We had like a mutual friend, and I was telling my friend, I need a good colorist because I'm not like a very good. Back then I wasn't like a really up to speed with computers, and I thought I needs to be like a digital colors. You know, I don't want to do traditional colors on the cover. And then he said like, oh, try Philip. He's brilliant. He's done some of my stuff, and I got his email address. I dropped him a line, and he was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do it." And I was like, "Oh, great!"
I just said the magic word "promance." Now I gotta ask the lady in the house to get the truth, because you know, I know how fellas be fibbing sometimes. So tell me the promance story. How did you and Bruno connect? You know, to build this wonderful project.
So Bruno and I met online at the end of 2019. So we knew each other for about 3 months before COVID life kind of took over. But we met there, and you know, but we both live in the same city. So we met online, but met up in person and talked about
during COVID. Oh my God!
No, just before COVID, COVID.
And you met just before COVID, you know, with no mask. All right.
Yeah. But we have a really similar taste in music. We have really similar taste in many other things. We're both massive fans of horror movies. So
wait a minute! Oh my God!
So when we first met, we kind of in person, we were sort of spent the evening talking about The Thing, all the the other things that we enjoy, but like horror movies and those kind of influences. And then in COVID, obviously, we were both kind of stuck out of work and wanted to be active, busy people doing something, and kind of seize the opportunity with all that downtime to just move something forward. But yeah, just we met online.
Beautiful. I love that. All right, you said horror movies. Oh my! I'm always curious, so I'll share mine immediately. My first horror movie ever was Hell Night by Linda Blair. Watching that in the movie theater. All right, as a little kid, 5 years old, and that had led me to my journey on horror. Like nothing makes me flinch except Human Centipede. What was your first? What was your first horror movie that you watched?
Ooh. I don't actually remember, but I watched a lot of horror films at university, and that was kind of my entry into.
Okay. Anything that stood out that you say, you know what, I wouldn't mind watching this, no matter when it comes on the telly.
The thing is the.
I mean,
Yeah.
I love that fucking movie.
I love it so. Yeah, I would happily watch it like every year.
That
like,
Spiderhead was the one that freaked me out as a kid. When I saw that shit on Channel 11 as a little kid, I was maybe 6 years old, and I saw that shit pop up on TV. A crawling head with spider legs. I said, "Oh my fucking god, bro!"
Yeah, it's a great film to watch with someone who's never seen it before. When you know what's going to happen, and you can sort of watch someone else watching that film. It's wonderful. I think I mean, it probably sounds like it. I think I had quite a pop culture sheltered childhood. I grew up in. I grew up just outside of London, but I went to I had a very small world kind of until I went to university. And
thank God you met Bruno.
Going to university was kind of what made me meet more people that had much better influences and interests than the ones that I had, and finding more fun and
See, I would have been the guy to corrupt you. Like, yeah, oh my God, you haven't seen this shit? Hold up.
I think I'd seen Hellraiser at like 18.
Oh, I love it.
I think I bought a VHS copy of that when I was 18. I didn't know anything about it.
VHS. I got them on DVDs to this day, and I loved them when they came out. I bought the comic books, and my favorite comic book, I also love Nightbreed. And as you know,
oh man, Nightbreed is awesome.
Did you know that there's a book called Jihad, which is Hellraiser versus Nightbreed?
I did not know.
New issue series from Marvel Epic from back in the day, and I had sold them years ago. And one day I go to a con, I go to a box, I see J's, and I just go into the J, and I pulled out 1, 2. I said, "Oh my God!"
Oh, who's the artist?
Oh man, I forget. It's old school. It had that painted brush style.
Right, yeah.
Hellraiser books from back then.
Yeah.
But bro, I never expected to see that. So look that up. Jihad. Versus Nightbreed, dopest book ever. Clive Barker, that's my dude. And but again, I think you guys are now my dudes and do that tier. Because again, look at this. This is t-shirts with the euthanizers. I need to see this. Look at this artwork. Look at this, and folks, let's get started before we go. Because I don't want to take too much more of their time. Because they gotta be selling this book, son. All right, so check it out. You can make a pledge for as little as £1, about $2 American, all right? And now we got the scarcity tier, which is the digital pack. We get some high-res PDFs. That's 32 pages of comic books. Let me repeat that. 32 pages of comic books for £8, about $11 American. As you can see, that their money seems to be worth more than ours right now. So,
not for too long. Not for long. Just wait.
Listen, who knows? Once the aliens comes with 3-Eye Atlas and they bring a whole type of new money, who knows? Then we got the Gutter Snipes physical edition starting at $34. Now check this out, folks. There's a reason for that. It's a complete series, right? It's in a hardback. You hear this? It's a hardback. All right. Oh my! Wait a minute. Look at this guy showing off that self porn. Yes. Oh my God. Let's see that. Oh, look at it. She's a thick one. Respect the oh my disrespectful young man. I love that. Respect the elders. Let me see the spine. Oh, look at that. See, look at that self porn, folks. It's gonna be looking sexy on yourself. Oh my God. Open up. Oh, look at the way. I almost feel like I'm at a strip book right now. I wish I had dollars to throw at the screen.
There you go.
I mean, look at that sexy ass book. Look at this book. That black and white fucking beauty right there. Oh my God. Yes, folks. This is what you guys gotta be like going into. This book is live right now.
And it's completed. It's done. You're not gonna have to wait until feel like finishing or something happened involved in a car accident and I can't finish the book. No, it's done.
It's done. It is done. Ready to deliver. 136 pages. Check this out. If you get to the Gutter Snipes tier for $34, right, you get the graphic novel again, and then you get a digital edition included. All right, at no extra cost. You hear that? You got the Euthanizers tier. You got the Methuselah tier. You got the Dugan Flex. Who the hell is Dugan Flex, bro?
It's one of the villains.
Oh, what a name, bro. My man be flexing. Flex, boom. And look at these guys. Respect the elders. You know, I wish as an elder, my guns, you know, they're okay, but they ain't that big. I'm jealous now. I gotta be an elder like that. I need a garage like that. I need to hang out with a cool crew like that. I mean, folks, look at the scarcity. This gun is nice. This sweet old lady, what is she? Is she a villain too?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't call any of them sweet, but
oh my, that sweet old lady looking like grandma. She's evil.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody else looks
yeah.
evil except Methuselah over here.
Yeah.
She looks like the sweet old grandma about to bake me cookies.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, sure.
yeah. We got a few of those over here, and they look sweet, but like they say some really nasty shit, man. Yeah.
I love it. The scarcity, folks. Again, this is what it is. We have 25 days to go. We have 15 amazing backers. I'm gonna refresh this page just in case. For 15 backers, 25 days to go. They're looking for 4 racks. All right, 4,029. We have 569. Let's make it happen. This is comic books. This is what comics are supposed to be. I need to show you again. Look at this dope art. This is not something that's gonna take you 2 minutes to read. There's 136 pages of comic book beauty, you know, with edited by Odette, drawn by Stahl. I mean, getting that out there. It's on Kickstarter. This is independent comics. All right. So talk to me here, Odette. If you could hand Boom Bandits to one celebrity fan and know they'd hype it outside of me, who you give it to?
Oh my god, that's a really tough question.
Come on. You never know. They might hype it. Come on. You never know. They're listening. Let's manifest that energy. Once your ideal celebrity to pick up this book and say, yeah, this is the shit right now. This is what you guys got to do.
There is them, like, I'm trying to think of all the celebrities that actually go to the artist alleys at cons and kind of actually go and like look at the indie like workers, like to see what they do. But Bruno, I'm gonna ask you to help me out. Who would you?
I know who would. I know there's one awesome celebrity that loves independent comic books. That's David S. Malchin. I see him so much love to independent comic book creators because he's the creator himself. So you may know him as Polka Dot Man from Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
So David S. Malchin, him.
Yeah.
He's really awesome. Hopefully I get to talk to him in New York about his new comic book project. But when you talk about someone that supports comics, like, bro, I did not know the level of geekiness this man has. Yeah. You know, so I think he would love something like this. When I talk to him, I'm gonna make sure to tell him, yeah, have you checked this shit out? Come on, Bruno, I'm gonna hook you up. I'm gonna pimp.
I appreciate that, man.
I'm gonna pimp your ass. This is what it is. This is comic books at their best. So before we go, are you guys gonna make any appearances at any conventions or like what's the future looking like for the squad right here?
We just got back from the International Lakes Festival, comic book festival in the UK.
Yeah. I know about Thought Bubble. I heard about MCM, and in the green room you mentioned this. I'm like, I never heard of this. Talk to me a bit about that.
It's a smaller, kind of more like literature kind of boutique comic festival, but the caliber of like guests is very serious in terms of writers and artists, and it's all like indie writers and artists at the Artist Alley. There isn't really kind of film guests there, and it's set in the Lake District in the UK. So you've got like outside the con, there's the mountains and the lakes, like huge 10-mile lakes. And it's just a really scenic place to kind of celebrate like really good literature and art. And
just gonna drop 2 names who are attending this weekend: Shelley Bond and Grant Morrison.
Oh, Shelley Bond, yeah, legend, Grant too. But I know I think that thank you. That's a great shout right there. I think someone that doesn't get too much respect.
And because the size of that convention, like they were very approachable. They was just like hanging out there, you know, like it's just and Grant Morrison, he doesn't do conventions anymore, and he was like that signing, you know, just chatting with people. Yeah,
that's why I thought the best time, like if you're a comic book fan or a content creator that does not care about Hall H, that's the best time to be on the show floor because every creator it's just there.
Yeah.
No one's online
Yeah.
because everybody's at Hall H. So it's like that Saturday. Listen, if you're a content creator, you could talk to the legends. Like just
Yeah.
walk up to them, and like, yo, listen, I'm not a Hall H guy. I'm a comic book guy. And that was a couple years, 2019, the 50th anniversary. I had gone, and let me tell you, my boy was waiting all day online to go to this Hall H. I said, dude, I'm not wasting my life on this line right now. I'm gonna talk to create. Let me tell you, I approached Brian Pulido, Matt Hawkins, Gail Simone, damn, so many. I can't remember. Like it was just too many people. I'm like, I can't believe I could just come up to you guys. He goes, everybody's at fucking Hall H.
That's right.
I'm like, all right.
And then we're going to Thought Bubble, which is not that far from. We live in Leeds, and Thought Bubble is like about half an hour away from us.
Have you done Thought Bubble before, you guys? I mean,
yeah, we go
many
most
times.
years, but we've exhibited there, and we've just been for fun.
So this is the time
really
exhibiting.
cool.
You're going to exhibit?
Yeah, this time we're exhibiting.
Oh, snap. Are you guys nervous about exhibiting?
No, like
no.
we've done it before, and we know loads of people that go, so it's a big social event as well.
Hey, I know. Have your nips under the table, take them shots and sell some books. Let's go. I love it. This is comic. This is indie. This is the grind. I dig it. Now, any last words? I'm gonna start with you, Bruno. Any last words for fans out there? Maybe unawares of the universe and or like motivational words, because I see you doing your thing, and again, I think that thank you, because this is the type of shit that I am looking for. So I'm definitely going to be supporting this.
I just want to thank you again for having us on the show, and for the potential supporters out there. Is just I try to be very honest in terms of like the creation of the book, like the process, the craft. I wanted to be as a comic bookish as possible, like really graphic, and in a way paying tribute to the guys that I grew up reading. And you mentioned like you read like a Conan as a kid when you're not supposed to, and I really want Boom Bandits to have that sort of it's for like a 12 plus, but like there's something a bit like a dangers in the book, like maybe you shouldn't be reading this, but wink wink, like here it is, give it a go.
That's the fun of comics, man.
And having something to say as well, and not only just entertainment for the sake of entertainment. There's some things like what I really wanted to say, and then like during COVID, like a lot of people, saying like, what we're gonna do with our lives, it's never gonna go back to normal. Like, so I said like, wow, I have to say something that just hopefully will be interesting to people out there, to the readers. And in terms of comic book, like as I was saying, I try to be play with the techniques, like a bit clever with like a transitions and the black and white artwork. I want it to be as traditional as possible. And if you like that kind of comic books, that's the approach you enjoy in your comic book, like a lot of content, like as really I try to pack as much story without being boring, without being like heavy on exposition as possible. Sort of like it's being old school, but at the same time modern, fresh. That's what I try to do. And if that's the kind of comic book you enjoy, I think you will enjoy Boom Bandits, and I would appreciate your support.
There we go. We get that support right there. Now to the editor right here. So the one hand of this business that helped meld and bond this masterpiece together. Odette, talk to me. Why should people support this project today?
They should support this project because it's a great read. It's a fun story. It's really non-stop action. And in terms of like risks for a Kickstarter, it's de-risked as much as we can. It's a finished book, and it's I think it's good value for money and good value for storytelling.
And there we go, folks. You hear that? They're trying to tell you what it is. I mean, you're getting that bang for your buck. You're getting something OG. You're getting some beautiful art. You're getting some story. And maybe there's some message that you guys need to hear. Because we live in a world where, it's wild. You know what I mean? But again, it's not in your face. It's fun. It's dope. It's comic books, baby. So Bruno, Odette, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. And for you Crusaders, I see y'all. I wish I asked some questions. I see you lurking. And I appreciate y'all tuning in. So please make sure to ask questions. Subscribe, hit that like button. Make sure you share. Because again, we're sharing with you amazing independent creators, and my man Bruno right here, amazing editor right here, like Odette. We're doing our things, making it happen. It's independent comics is the best. It's Comic Crusaders. I'm out mega. Hasta la próxima, mi gente. You know what it is. Wepa! Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.com and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.